You ever get that feeling that there's some kind of invisible force guiding your choices, setting your limits, almost like it's writing the story of your life for you? Well, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to pull back the curtain on that exact force, the invisible blueprint that's shaping your reality. And this quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not your circumstances, it's not luck, it's not even just your talent that's the final decider. It's the picture you hold of yourself on the inside. So, we're going to call this picture the invisible blueprint. Think of it as this quiet, kind of subconscious story that's acting like the architect of your entire reality. So, what is this self-image exactly? Well, it's not just about thinking positively. Now, it's way deeper than that. It's this deep-seated inner narrative. It's the story you carry around about who you are, what you're capable of, what you believe you deserve, and what's even possible for someone like you. And believe me, this story guides pretty much every decision you make. And you can see here just how clearly this plays out. Your life, it basically becomes a mirror of whatever story you're telling yourself. So if you see yourself as capable and worthy, you're naturally going to move towards challenges. You'll welcome growth. But if that inner story says you're inadequate, you'll find yourself stepping back, even when a golden opportunity is staring you right in the face. This is such a brilliant way to put it. Your self-image sets an upper limit, an invisible ceiling, on how much success or happiness or connection you'll even allow yourself to have. It's kind of like a thermostat for your life, right? If things get too good and go above that setting, you'll subconsciously find a way to bring things back down to the level you believe deep down you actually deserve. Okay, so living with this invisible ceiling, well, it comes at a real cost. So what exactly is the price we pay for a self-image that's built on doubt? Oh, the consequences are huge, and honestly, probably a little too familiar for a lot of us. I'm talking about self-sabotage, turning down that promotion because you feel like an imposter, or hiding from being seen, not sharing your work because you're scared of what people will think. And of course, the constant comparison trap. It all leads to settling for less in your career, in your relationships. It's living a smaller life when you were meant for so much more. This is such a powerful insight. It flips the whole idea of self-sabotage on its head. It's not that we don't want success, of course we do, but a part of our blueprint, that old story, might be telling us that success is actually dangerous, that we won't be able to handle it, or that for some reason we're not safe to have it. But here is the really, really good news. This blueprint, it is not set in stone. It is not a life sentence. You can absolutely rewrite it. And the way you do it isn't by just wishing or hoping. It happens through action. It's about doing. And there's a really clear framework for this. It's a 3-step process. First up, new awareness. You have to start noticing that old limiting story as it plays out. You got to catch it in the act. Second, new actions. You have to intentionally start behaving like the person you want to be, even if it feels a little weird or uncomfortable at first. And third, and this is crucial, those new actions start to generate new evidence, real-world proof that the old story just isn't true. And this is the absolute key. You don't need some massive, life-altering event to change your self-image. It's the small, consistent wins. Every single time you speak up in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet, or you finish that workout you promised yourself you'd do, you are providing your brain with fresh evidence. You are literally rewriting your own story, one small action at a time. All right, so let's get super practical. Let's talk about the key pillars you can use to build a much stronger foundation for your new self-image. First, you gotta watch your words. The language you use about yourself literally shapes your reality. So instead of saying something absolute like, I'm just terrible with money, you could frame it to, I'm learning how to manage my finances better. See the difference? Second, lead with kindness. You cannot bully yourself into growth. It just doesn't work. When you make a mistake, instead of, I'm such an idiot, try, okay, that didn't work. What can I learn from this? That compassion creates the safety you need to try again. And third, and this one is a game changer, keep the promises you make to yourself. Every time you follow through, even on something small, you are building self-trust. And self-trust is the bedrock of real, lasting confidence. And all of this brings us to the most empowering idea of all. You are not just a character in a story that someone else wrote for you. You are the author. Let this one really sink in. That blueprint, that identity you've been carrying around all this time, that is not the real unchangeable you. It's simply a story that you learned at some point, from things that happened, from what people told you, from the culture around you. And you know the most important thing about a learned story? It can be unlearned, and it can be rewritten. This means you are not defined by what happened yesterday. You are not the sum of your mistakes. Those are just chapters in a book that you are still actively writing. The power to change the narrative, it belongs to you, right here, right now. Today, you can pick up the pen and begin writing a new, more expansive, and more authentic story for yourself. So I'll leave you with this question. Just for a moment, forget the old story, forget the limits, forget the doubts. If you operated from a place of deep, unshakable trust in yourself, what would you do? What would you try? The answer to that question, well, that's your new first page.